Sextortion, an adult term for an insidious crime that's causing our teens to take their lives. Online manipulators will stop at nothing to get what they want. Your child may not recognize the word sextortion itself, but once explained, it might ring a bell.
They are anywhere. Anywhere that a kid is online, whether it's online gaming, a gaming console, messaging apps, any application, Scholastic, anything of where a kid is online is where there is a child predator. It's online blackmail.
It's Brenda Born's job to hunt them down. She's a supervisory special agent for the FBI. The agency says their Minneapolis field office has the third highest number of financial sextortion cases in the country. It starts with the predator gaining the trust of these young victims, then requesting a nude photo. Once they have it, they'll threaten to make it public.
It can either go the route of wanting and demanding additional images, or it can go the route of wanting them to send money.
Young people feel embarrassed and hopeless, which has led to suicides, attempted and successful.
So this one is from a victim. I thought he was never going to stop, that killing myself was the only way for me to escape him.
The predators are master manipulators, taking photos sent from one victim, sending them to the next.
They are taking victims' photographs and pretending to be them. That's how they make you believe as a kid that you are talking to another kid. They may have multiple pictures of the same person. That person is real. It's just that person is a victim. You just don't know it. And they are trying to exploit you by exploiting that victim again.
Snapchat, Instagram, or anything you post stays on the internet.
Oftentimes the youth that I talk to about sextortion and revenge porn, their faces drop when I tell them that Snapchat doesn't delete their photos right away, or that law enforcement can get warrants for Snapchat, and that those don't just go away after somebody opens it and doesn't screenshot it.
And what many don't know, kids simply taking nude photographs under the age of 18 is against the law.
If anybody is watching and they are a victim, it's one of the first things is you are not in trouble.
Once those images are out there, they're hard to get back.
Duluth police officer Jeremy Graves is with the sex crimes unit and told us they don't usually have access to these predators.
If it's an image that you're not willing to share with your friends and family, it's probably not an image you should be sending out.
What are some of the red flags for kids?
If somebody asks you to leave the platform, or if you're talking to somebody and in a matter of minutes they want you to send a sexually explicit image.
Carly Heedy, a safe harbor youth advocate at PAVSA, tells me sextortion is not a word kids recognize, but it is something they know all too well.
They're not using the terms that adults are using. So when I ask if they've ever heard of this, they're like, no, and then we explain what that is, and they're like, oh, okay. Yep, I've definitely heard of that happening, or my friends have experienced this.
For people reporting themselves as victims of sextortion, numbers show that 56% tell their close family or friends, 26% to a website or social platform, and 17% to law enforcement. Here's what you should do if you fall victim.
Do not pay anybody. Stop the communication right away if it's by email, by talking on the phone or whatever, and then contact your local law enforcement.
Please tell somebody so that we can help you. And please don't delete anything. That way we can do our best to try and identify those that are trying to extort you.
It's important to have conversations about the possibility of online predators, and not just one. It needs to be routine. Make sure you know who they're talking to online and in real life. Check their privacy settings on social media, and make sure you note any changes in behavior.
So I'd like to just read some excerpts from their victim impact statements so that people could hear it actually from a victim and actually from a parent at how these types of incidents impact our youth. So this one is from a victim. I thought he was never going to stop, that killing myself was the only way for me to escape him. I began cutting myself frequently, sometimes several times a day. Another victim. I was so scared that he would track me down and attempt to rape me. I didn't feel safe at my own house or in my own town. I tried to kill myself 3 times. This is a parent. She was on the honor roll, had many friends and played sports. Her personality became withdrawn and angry. She stopped playing sports and lost interest in many things she once liked, began to self-harm, and was planning suicide. Another parent. I received the worst call a parent can receive when a police officer called me that my daughter was being rushed to the hospital because she had tried to commit suicide by taking pills and cutting her wrists.
It may feel like the end of their world, but reassurance that it is not is key.
We need to get to them in time to be able to say, hey, you're not alone, that they've done nothing wrong, you know, they don't need to be embarrassed. We are there to help them with it and help them get through it. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to protect our most precious asset, and that's our children. But I can't help them if I don't know about it.
The really scary part about falling victim to a sextortion scheme is that most of the predators do not come from the country, making it hard for law enforcement to track them down. For additional resources on how to keep your kids as well as yourself safe, visit the link in our description.